Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 16th tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we are going to talk about comparison operators. So the first thing that we need to know is what are comparison operators used for. The comparison operators, as I spoke about them in the last tutorial, they are used to compare data that's present between columns in tables to the data that you specify in the conditions that you put in your select queries using the where clause, right? So we're going to see all the comparison operators in action in this tutorial. So I'm going to demonstrate all of them to you. So let's first check out what are the options that we have in SQL. So we've got the equal to operator, which is the single equal to sign, and you use this to check whether data in columns is the same as what you specify in your where condition or not. And then you've got the not equal to operator that allows you to check whether the data that is present in columns in tables is not equal to the data that you specify in your conditions. And then you've got the greater than that checks whether the data in columns is greater than what you've specified. Then you've got the less than operator, which checks whether the data that's there in the columns is less than the data that you've specified in the conditions. Then you've got greater than equal to or less than equal to, and they're both self-explanatory, right? So next we're going to check out all these operators in the MySQL environment. So I've got my MySQL workbench here, and in the test database I no longer have two tables, I have got just one. And I removed the emp underscore info table, and I've just got the employee table here. And the employee table too is not the same as the one with which we've been working all along in this course. I've made some modifications to it. I've added about 15 rows of data to it, right? So we're going to check out the structure of the table first using the desc command, and I'll type in desc employee a semicolon, the control enter. That would give me the structure. So these are the fields that I have in the table currently: the ID field, name field, age, email, and salary field. So I no longer have the DOB field. I have changed that to age, and it's also not of date type, it's of integer type. So it will be holding numeric values and whole values, not fractional values, right? So you would see ages as 21, 22, 24, not as 22.5 or 23.6, right? And the ID field is the primary key for the table, and the name field as well as the email field, both these fields are of variable character type, while the salary field is of decimal type. It can hold a maximum of 10 digits, and it can have two values after the decimal point, right? So this is the structure of the table. Next we're going to check out the data that's there in the table using the select statement. So I'll type in select space the asterisk symbol because I want to see data for all fields, and then the name of the table after the from keyword. So from employee, I'll put in a semicolon, and when I press Control Enter, you see that I've got a lot of data in this table, and the ID value starts from 1900, and it goes from 1900 to 1914, right? So in total there are 15 rows in the table, and the age, as I said, the age field is going to have numeric values only, right? So you have 22 for John, and 24 for Peter, and 29 for Howard, 25 for Nick, so on. And the salary field, where I've just picked 5-digit salaries. So these are random values, these have got nothing to do with anything in particular. So you've got 16,500 for Roger, and you've got 34,000 for Shane, right? And the email address field is also there, that has the email addresses. So now we're going to see how we can use the comparison operator to obtain data that we need, right? So in case you want to have any particular condition in your select statement, right? So when we execute the select start from employee table, we get all the rows that are there in the table. Suppose we want rows that obey a particular condition, like we want to see names of all the people who have age greater than 25, or we want to see IDs of people that have salary less than 25,000, right? Or if you want to see how many people in total have age greater than 28, right? So if you want to see that kind of data, then you need to use your comparison operators, and these are also known as relational operators in the programming terminology. and let's check all of them one by one. So the first query that I'm going to execute is to find out the values of all fields for records for which the value of salary is less than 15,000, right? So to do that, I'll type in the keyword select first, right? And then I'll put in the asterisk symbol because I want to see values in all columns, and then the name of the table after the from keyword. So I'll type in employee, and then I'm going to type in a keyword where, right? So this is a where clause, and we haven't spoken about it really in this course thus far, and I'll be probably recording one tutorial just for the where clause in the near future. But for the time being, just know that you use the where clause to put in conditions in your select query, right? So after the where keyword, I'll give a space, and then I'll type in my condition. So I want the salary to be less than 15,000. I'll put in a semicolon at the end, and when I press Control Enter, in the results set I don't get 15 rows anymore, right? So I get rows with ID 1900, 1901, 1904, and 1910. So in total there are 4 rows in the table that satisfy this condition of salary less than 15,000, and John has a salary of 12,500, and Peter has a salary of 13,800. Stan and Philip to have salaries less than 15,000, right? So you can verify that the data that you've obtained is correct, satisfies the condition, right? So the next operator that we're going to check out is the greater than operator. In this case, we'll find out the number of records that have the value of salary greater than 15,000, right? So I'll just have to make one modification to this query. I'll change the less than operator to the greater than operator, right? That's all I need to do. I'll press Control Enter, and this time, well, I get more records, obviously, because there were 15 in total. So if 4 had values less than 15,000, then the rest 11 need to have values greater than 15,000. So you can check for each record the value of salary would be greater than 15,000, right? 25,000, 31,200, 16,500, and so on and so forth. So these are the operators that you use to compare values, and that's why they're called comparison operators. And we're also going to check out the other ones, which are the equal to operators. So if you want to find out which employee has salary, let's say, equal to 29,200, so I'll change this to 29,200, and I'll press Control Enter, and there you go. You see that Michael, who has the ID 1907 and age 21, has the value of salary 29,200, right? So salary for Michael is 29,200. That's why you get this record in the result set. And if you want to check which employees do not have this salary, then you replace the equal to operator by the not equal to operator, which is the less than and the greater than symbol combined together. So when you press the Control Enter, now you see that you would get all records except Michael. So Michael won't be present in the result set. You can verify that, right? 1900 row with ID 1907 is not there in the result set. So you've got 906 for Dave and then 908 for Shane. And next, if you want to check out how many or what all employees have, we're going to talk about how many, finding out how many records satisfy a particular condition when we talk about aggregate functions later on. So at the moment, let's just concentrate on getting records, and then finding how many records we've got. That's something that we'll deal with later on. So if you want to check out the records that have salary less than or equal to 29,500, 29,200, that is. So you put in the equal to operator there, and you run the query, and there you go. This time you would see that Michael would also figure in the result set, right? And all the employees that have salaries greater than 29,200 would not be there, right? So only employees that have this salary or employees that do not have the salary but lesser values would appear in the result set. And now we're going to work with the age column, right? And you can also work with the character fields if you want to. So if you want to see the salary of John, then all you have to do is replace the asterisk symbol here with the salary, and type in the name field here, and then the condition. And since name is a character field, you'll have to put in your value in single quotes, right? So if you want to check the value of salary for John, you put in John within single quotes, press Control Enter. There you go. You see that the salary for John is 12,500. right? And we're also going to run a query for the greater than equal to operator, and again I'll put an asterisk here. I'm going to find out values for all fields for all employees that have age greater than or equal to, let's say, 24, right? So all these employees have age greater than 24: Howard and Peter and Nick, Stan, Roger, Dave, Shane. And there are some records that are missing, so you don't have a continuum there. As you can see, Michael's not there in the list, and then someone else is also not there in the list because the row with ID 1910 is missing, and the row with ID 1914 is also missing. So these are the things that you can do with the comparison operators, and they're really useful, and we'll be using them too quite a lot in the coming tutorials. And I hope you guys had fun watching this one. Please subscribe to my channel in case you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.